So imagine someone came to you and said, you know what, I want to give you an extra 1 hour of being productive every single day. And of course, you do the math and you're like, that's 30 hours extra of being productive every single month. And you're like, that's pretty good. But then they told you this, they said, and it's not going to cost you anything. You're not going to really have to do anything too drastic to make it happen. Would you take that? And you're like, yeah, an extra hour a day, an extra 30 a month. Well, that's what I'm going to share with you in this video, is how you can achieve that. It's very simple, and it's based on a concept known as the sleep window. Now, before we get too deep into how this works, it's important to establish some ground rules or to understand the basic concepts of what brings this all together. And to do that, you have to look at your day. And your day is made up of several different sections or categories. You have mornings, you have afternoons, you have evenings, and then you have the time when you sleep. So there's about 4 areas, main areas of your life. And that's important to understand because they're not all created equal. Not every hour is going to be the same as far as your energy, what you're able to do, what you are doing, things like this, your mindset. So let's look at 2 of those though, your morning and your evenings. First of all, your evenings. If you were to look at your evenings, what would you say your evenings represent for you? Maybe you get home at 6 o'clock in the evening and your evening lasts from the time that you get home at 6 until you go to bed at 10, 11, or 12, whatever it may be for you. What is that time spent doing? And you can say, well, when I stop and think about it, it's relaxation time. I'm unplugging. I'm just not doing a whole lot, doing some mindless things, watching Netflix, YouTube, just doing a whole lot of nothing, sitting on the couch, playing with the dog. That is your relaxation time, your evenings. And your energy level is not that high, nor is your desire to do much maybe that high. It could be, but probably not. That's the first area of our life. Now, the second area, when we look at it, are our mornings. And so when you think about your mornings, what would you say that represents? And again, if you, let's say you wake up at 6 in the morning, maybe 7 until noon, that time for most people, you're going to say is the time that I'm awake, I'm alive, I just had a great night's sleep, hopefully, and I'm being my most productive self in those hours. I'm making breakfast, I'm getting on the road, I'm getting to work, I'm starting stuff. You're in a different mode in the mornings as opposed to the evenings, even though time is time, right? But not in reality. Our mindset and our energy levels are different in the mornings than they are in the evenings. I think we can generally establish that. So that's where this idea of sleep window comes into play. And what you want to do in order to implement this idea based on what we just talked about is if you go to bed, for example, at midnight and you wake up at 7, that's 7 hours of sleep a night. The idea with shifting your sleep window means instead of going to bed at midnight, go to bed at 11 p.m. Instead of waking up at 7, wake up at 6. So you've just shifted your sleep window an hour, the time you go to bed and the time you wake up, equally. So you're getting the same amount of sleep, but you're losing an hour in the relaxed period of your life and gaining an hour in your productive time of your life. That is your sleep window. You're shifting your sleep window. If you want to get even more drastic, you could say, well, I want to go to bed earlier at 10 and wake up at 5. You could do that. That's shifting your sleep window. Why is this so important? It's important because, again, it's not costing you anything really. You're just moving your use of time a little bit so that you're spending less time relaxing, more time being productive. And that's the key. You can stand to lose probably time just wasting time in the evenings and doing that hours at a time perhaps. It's okay, you can give that up. But you're gaining an hour or more in the mornings by doing this shift. And that hour is powerful, productive time that you can use to get things done. So look at your life and think, can I shift my sleep window in some way? 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. That's a bit drastic, but can you shift your sleep window? Because when you do, you're going to gain valuable time to get more done in the morning. And if this is hard for you, don't try to do too much at one time. Don't try to shift an hour or two all at once. Try little increments of 15 minutes at a time. So if you're going to bed at midnight and getting up at 7, then start going to bed at 11:45 and getting up at 6:45. Do that shift for a week. Test it out. Get used to it. Then do another 15-minute shift and do another 15-minute shift until you get to an hour perhaps, if that's what you want. But maximize this idea of shifting your sleep window as much as you possibly can, and you'll find that you'll gain hours a day, or an hour at least, and many hours throughout the month, because if you continue to do this throughout the month and the rest of your life, you're going to have a lot more time to be productive. So shift your sleep window. I hope you found this useful and helpful, and if you did, please leave a comment below. I'd appreciate it. I read every single comment. I'd love to hear from you, okay? And I hope you have an amazing day.